in a Detroit den with Steve and Will.
Oh, we're back after I just got my little heart broken in the NHL draft lottery. I no longer have the desire to live or to move on. The Red Wings ended up with the 9th overall pick in the draft, right where we were supposed to, because we have zero luck when it comes to lottery luck. None.
We don't need luck.
None whatsoever.
We got Yzerman.
Yeah.
No luck needed.
All in all, we're looking at 2 first-round picks still, 9 and I think
18, is it?
17 or 18, yeah, something like that. So, I mean, we could still get a pretty good haul. We got a lot of young kids coming up that were in the minors that I expect to be making their way to Detroit as early as next season. We already saw a couple of them with Casper and Edmondson. Got 2 first-rounders this year. We're still sitting in pretty good shape. Everyone needs to just calm down. I was a little worked up for a second, but I'm not going to mention why. I'm not gonna say why.
Yeah.
So yeah, Red Wings don't get any lottery luck. Picking 9, 18, 17. Doesn't matter. Cup's coming home next year. It's all that matters.
Stanley.
Yeah. We're going to get into a little football talk now. There's been a question going around on Twitter that I think I'm probably in the minority when it comes to the answer. So who, in your opinion, now that the results are all in, everything's said and done, who ended up winning the Matthew Stafford trade?
I think both teams won. The Rams got their Super Bowl, and we're doing a heck of a rebuild. So I feel like both teams won. What do you think?
I think the way it sits right now today, like you just said, the Rams won the Super Bowl. The Lions didn't. We won the draft. If there's no trophy for winning the draft. I would say, I mean, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
But, the goal of football is to win the Super Bowl. So once we get there, we can talk a push. But as today it stands, I think the Rams got us. Not that they fleeced us, but they're winning the trade.
That's fair.
You know
They didn't win last season, though.
That's true. And as a matter of fact, they helped us with how they performed.
Appreciate it.
A little bit more football talk. There's still a lot of free agents out there. I think they're going to start falling into place slowly now that the draft is all done. They have a better understanding of where they would fit, which teams might need them a little more. Who would you like to see the Lions sign that's still available?
Let me think about it. Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd. This is a public service announcement. Please come to Detroit. Come on. We got Aiden over there. You come on over here.
Houston.
Let's go. I would love to see Leonard Floyd.
He'd help the pass rush quite a bit. I'd like to see someone on the D line. Maybe our guy Chris Wormley. Maybe the guy from, I think he's from Seattle. I can't say his name. Don't make me say it. Aya Pusti or something like that. So there's still plenty of free agents out there. They're going to start falling. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is an option anymore. We talked about that. I think he's going to end up going to a team where he has a better chance to play.
For sure.
Someone with a quarterback that's maybe on a hot seat. I could like something like Tampa, back up Baker. If Baker struggles, they can go to Teddy.
Yeah.
A scenario like that, I think, is where Teddy Bridgewater's going to end up going. And we're only bringing him up because we had talked about him on a previous show.
Yeah.
But, man, we're kind of in a dead spot for football now. I mean, we do have the schedule release coming up Friday. I'm pumped about that.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see what the schedule looks like. But before we get off those free agents, he's not really a free agent. But have you seen what's going on in the news with Quentin Williams?
Yes.
So that's a guy that I think immediately would be a problem.
Would really, really help our defensive line. I think that's probably the one thing in the draft we didn't address other than Broderick Martin was D-line. I mean, Broderick Martin, we'll talk about him a little bit in a future episode after our prospect highlight. But, I really like Quentin Williams.
I think that he's got 1 year left on his deal. The Jets are, screwing him around. Maybe we slide in, man. Maybe we slide in.
Yeah, I'd at least make a call, see what it's going to take to get him because, they're not going to be able to afford him with that Aaron Rodgers contract now.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's making $50 million and Quinton's wanting somewhere in the vicinity of 20.
And they got a lot of highlight saucy guys.
Saucy is the key word. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to want some money here in a couple years too. So
Wilson's going to want some money.
Yeah, the Packers financially, or not the Packers, the Jets are not financially set up very well after acquiring Rodgers. I mean, their window is very small. They're going for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this isn't a Jet show. But Quinnen Williams to the Lions, I'd call. I'll be like, hey man, what are you guys asking? What are you thinking? Second round pick? Maybe we throw in Tracy Walker.
I wouldn't be mad at all.
Not a bad problem to have. Just make the call, see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I used to tell my ex-girlfriends, the worst thing she's gonna do is tell you no, right?
Gotta try it.
Who do you think are the top 4 teams in the NFC?
Ooh.
We talked about it a little bit the other day.
I mean, I gotta go Lions, Eagles.
In order? You're not going in order, are you?
No, I'm not going in order.
Okay.
But here's what let me just get into what I was talking to you about earlier. Not today or the other day. We talked so much, but roster for roster, right? Roster for roster. I love to go on and look at the Lions roster and then go player for player at other teams' rosters. Nobody scares me in the NFC. Nobody. The Eagles would be the closest thing, and they don't scare me either. So let me just say, forget the rest of those teams, man. The Lions got people on notice. I feel like we can beat anybody.
I'm going to say that the Eagles are probably the top dog in the NFC, and that the Packers are not the Packers. The 49ers, I don't know why the Packers are in my head today.
Yeah, the 49ers, I'm with that.
The 49ers are probably second, but I do think we closed that gap on them with our draft. They didn't have a very good, they drafted fucking Jake Moody in like the 3rd round. I mean, you guys needed a kicker that bad, round 3. You don't have many draft picks after the Trey Lance debacle and Christian McCaffrey. So essentially one of your first picks was a kicker. So I definitely think we closed the gap on San Francisco.
They lost a corner to us.
Yeah, we took one of their corners. And then there's a 4th team out there that I think a lot of people don't really respect, and it's Seattle.
See, you got them higher than me.
I would say you could put the Lions and Seahawks 3A, 3B.
I'm not with that.
You think the Lions are flat out just better?
I think the Lions are better. And we got to prove it on the field. Love the draft. Love what we did in the draft. But again, when I look at this roster, man, you got Jahmyr Gibbs running around out there. You got David Montgomery. You got one of the best offensive lines in the league. We have too many people in the secondary. We got good football players. If everybody's healthy, somebody's going to be sitting on the sideline that could be starting somewhere else in the league. Like we got Captain Jack coming to lock down the middle, just being 6'5" long. You got to pass over and around him, and we still haven't hit free agency yet. It's like when I look at these other rosters, man, it's like I don't know if these guys come in and make an immediate impact that we drafted this year, we're going to be scary.
I'm just saying, I think the Seahawks they're flying really under the radar, no pun intended, and they beat us last year. It was a good game, high scoring game. I don't know if they'd beat us again, but I just got to go based off what last year. And they had a damn good draft. I mean, they got our guy Devon Witherspoon.
Who?
Come on, stop it now.
He's not a liar.
I can't deal with you when you're like this.
Don't know who he is. Never heard of him.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
What's her name?
You remember this guy, Zach Charbonnet? They got him too.
Never heard of him.
They had a pretty good draft, and they play solid defense. I mean, their run game's pretty damn good. Their O-line's above average. The question mark is Geno Smith.
They got bodybuilders out there trying to play football. They got guys that should be doing the Arnold Classic at receiver. Like, what are we talking about? They don't scare me, man. They don't scare me.
I'm just saying, I think we match up better with them this year than we did last year, based on our secondary. But the Seahawks are a very overlooked team. And then the Cowboys are probably the other team. They're a one-trick pony. They're going to play good defense, and then their offense relies on Dak too much. You take Dak out of that offense, they're lucky to score 17 points. So not really worried about the Cowboys. If you can score on them and turn that game into a shootout, I think the Detroit Lions will end up winning that one.
Listen, when the Cowboys get a running back that's healthy, that can ride the rides at Cedar Point, then I'll talk about him.
Tony Pollard, you're not a big fan of TP?
I said that's healthy.
Yeah, he broke his leg, but he should be back by the start of the season.
He won't be right. He won't be right by the start of the season. And the other option is Deuce Vaughn. If Deuce Vaughn was on the podcast right now, here's what it would look like.
Hey, you might have to adjust that camera a little bit.
What are we talking about right now? Come on.
Hey,
No,
from the
they
eyes
don't
up, he
scare me.
looks real good.
Right? They don't scare me, man.
Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the NFC North and their draft. I'm like I said, I just gave the Seahawks a ton of props, so I'm not being a homer tonight.
Right.
Out of the NFC North, I think the Lions had the best draft. After them, I'm probably going to say Green Bay. I really like what they did. They got 2 solid tight ends. They got Lucas Van Ness. I'm not huge on him, but I think he fits a good role for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And Jade Reed gives Jordan Love a nice deep threat.
Yep.
So I like the Packers draft. I don't think Minnesota or Chicago drafted well, for being honest.
Yeah, I like the Packers draft as well. I think Vanessa is going to be. He just seems like a Green Bay Packer to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Clay Matthews, type of guy.
Reminds me of like a Kyle Vanden Bosch, if you remember him from Tennessee and Detroit.
Yep. Same type of deal.
Yeah.
I like that he can play defensive tackle and defensive end. Like you can mix and match him, and he can do a lot of things. He's got versatility. It just seems like I said, like a Green Bay Packer type of dude. But a couple of tight ends and a D end and
Jayden Reed.
Yeah, a receiver that couldn't do anything against Michigan. Not scared.
I mean, yeah. The only thing I don't know Packers wise is why they took 2 tight ends. I don't understand that.
Well, they lost Tanyan, didn't they?
I mean, Tanyan wasn't like he had the one good year, but after that, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see why they drafted 2 tight ends. But other than that, I mean, I like their draft. I think they had the second best draft in the division. Maybe I'm being a homer because I really, really like the Lions draft, and we could have potentially every single player make a huge contribution on this team.
I agree 100%. You talk about that top four.
I've actually was thinking a lot about Colby Sorsdahl, the kid from the Virgin Mary School.
Mm-hmm.
So hear me out.
Are we on that wagon now?
Well, hear me out. Come on now.
William and Mary?
The Detroit Lions use a lot of, it's called the swing tackle, where they bring in that tackle to actually play tight end and they declare him eligible. I think he's going to fit that role very well. They run it a lot. Every game I was at this year, I wish I had $1 for every time they said number 60 is reporting eligible.
Yeah.
10, 15 times a game. I think that's what they're going to use him for those little trickery. They did it with Sewell and got him a swing pass on against Minnesota.
Yeah.
I do think that's how he's going to be used. And then, knock on wood, hopefully we don't have any injuries, but I think he'll fill in guard, center, or even right tackle, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah. A lot of people have been talking about him as being a sleeper. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some guru on him, but I have heard a lot of good things about him. And then when I watch the tape, he plays the game like we want to play it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he ends up doing and what he ends up panning out to be. I do like the fact that we have him, we got Glasgow, we got Vitae, we got some subs, man, that are some strong guys, some strong replacements that again could be probably getting some time and an opportunity somewhere else. So we're just deep. And I love it because you got to be,
Yeah, that right guard position in training camp is going to be one to watch. Is it going to be Glasgow, Vitae, Swordsdale? I'll be watching that one. I mean, the rest of the O-line's pretty locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But real quick, we're going to spotlight Jack Campbell. We talked about Jahmyr Gibbs last episode. Spotlighted him. So let's talk about Captain Jack, my guy.
Captain Jack, man. Again, being transparent, I wasn't super high on him in the draft. I had a bunch of linebackers that I wanted to see ahead of him because I wanted to play it. I like to see the game played a certain type of way. But the more and more I dig into him and the more and more I hear his story, I'm just super, super excited. And we haven't got a chance to talk. And I'm going to post it tomorrow. I got it kind of locked and loaded. Some high school basketball film of Jack Campbell. Catching alley-oops, coming down, putting the ball behind his back, making steals, coming up, dunking on people. The guy's an athlete. He's 6'5", playing in the middle of the field, super smart. One of the things that I had a huge complaint about when we were talking about him in the beginning is he didn't come screaming downhill like some of the other guys I saw. But the more and more game film I watched of actual games and not highlights, there was times that he came screaming downhill. I think he's reading and dissecting at such a high level. He screams when he feels like he needs to, and he takes his time and dissects the play when he doesn't. So I'm excited to see what he can do at the next level. I talked to you about it. I do think that he's a hint, just a smudge slower than some of the elite guy. I'm not talking about good, elite Hall of Fame linebackers of the past, but it's just a smudge. So, but I think he can definitely be solid for us. What do you think about him?
I think he's day one starter. I think it's him and Anzalone. Sorry, really like Malcolm Rodriguez, but I think Jack's just a little bit better, a little bigger, a little faster, covers better. Detroit's always had that issue covering tight ends, and you see what Green Bay did. We just talked about them. They took two really good tight ends. Someone's going to have to cover them. You're going to be looking at Jack Campbell, Gardner Johnson, Tracy Walker, a combination. I think he's a good matchup. Anzalone, yeah, Anzalone's really good in pass coverage. Not so much the run, not so much dissection, but Jack Campbell's going to be a day one starter, and when Anzalone's out of here, Campbell will have the green dot.
Yeah, another thing that I like about Jack Campbell is his bench press, man. And I don't mean in a weight room. I mean when these centers, guards, and fullbacks get on him, he presses those guys, gets rid of them.
There's no way he benches more than me.
I think he might have you by 5 or 10 pounds.
I'll put 155 on there right now and rep him out, Chief.
Oh, he doesn't have a chance then. Let's forget about it. And I hope he never watches this. Probably just broke his spirit.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Campbell's a jersey I'm probably going to end up getting, as soon as they come out.
You better get it now. I think it's going to be a hot one.
There's some undrafted free agents that we really like too that we talked about. We haven't done a whole lot about them, but Ibrahim from Minnesota, dude, I'm telling you, he's going to be RB3. I really think he's making the team. I think Craig Reynolds is practice squad or someone else picks him up. I could see him being RB3. He was absolutely torching Ohio State until he tore his Achilles in that game.
Yep.
And he just never really fully bounced back from that. So I think we kind of got a steal there.
I'll tell you this. I've never seen a running back that was slower, break so many tackles, and just be so, I don't even know what you call it, just elusive, I guess. He just makes a move enough here, a move enough there to break tackles. And I think he might be a short yardage guy, change of pace back, goal line back. I definitely agree with you. I think that Craig Reynolds is on notice.
Yeah.
He has everything to me but speed.
Yeah, practice squad or someone will pick Craig Reynolds up. I think Ibrahim's going to be RB3. He'll get that cleanup duty down inside the goal line, those big packages. Solid running back. And we'll talk about some other kids later. Yeah. We're not going to do a whole show on undrafted free agents. So we're going to get into a little college stuff now. Another big news, kind of old news, but we haven't talked about it. Hunter Dickinson transferred from Michigan to, dead to me. I mean, he's been at Michigan for, 14 years.
Yeah, easily.
Transferred from Michigan and ended up choosing Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas is going to be good, man. He'll definitely help Kansas out, but it's the same for me every time. If you're no longer a Wolverine,
dead.
You're dead. Don't know you. Who are you? Never heard of you.
Clear the stat books. You don't belong in our school program history.
I know, but in not replacement of him, but a guy that I really like that I don't really hear a lot of people talking about is Trey Jackson.
If you don't know who he is, he's on our TikTok page. Go check it out. There's some highlights. Detroit Den 313.
Wow. This guy is flying around and dunking on people like there's no tomorrow. We got him from Seton Hall. He's actually from Detroit too. So Jawan, I don't know if Jawan had some type of connection or how they ended up grabbing him, but he can knock down the three. He runs the floor and plays defense, and the dude can jump out of the gym. So I think that a lot of people are talking about the guard we got from North Carolina in the transfer portal, Caleb Love. But Trey Jackson is going to be exciting to watch. So get to that Chrysler Center and watch him dunk on some people this year.
Yeah, we'll go to some games.
For sure.
We're going to stick to college, but we're going to transition to college football. This is a kid you love. I haven't watched his film because I haven't been able to find real film on YouTube. I don't like to watch highlights. It just makes everyone look good. I like to watch real game film. Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, his state championship game. I think both of them. They're on YouTube. But Bryce, what are you doing, bud?
So the issue is, he had an official visit to Michigan, and we kind of panicked a little because I totally forgot he's not in the same class as Jaden Davis, so he's a year behind him.
Yes.
Which is well, he could reclassify, yes, but I'm just going off the information today. He is technically right now a year behind Jaden Davis. He could graduate early, but he hasn't, so we're not going to put that into the world.
Yeah.
The other problem is he just had an official visit to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you doing, Bryce? You just don't want to win Big Ten championships?
Man,
come on, bud.
I'll tell you this. I am absolutely terrified of him going to that school. Terrified. Because he's an absolute beast, man. Like, he's an absolute beast. And I'll tell you this. We talk about packing people's stuff. If he signed his letter of intent to come to the University of Michigan, I would pack Mr. Davis stuff myself.
I mean, we can't officially say it because it would be tampering, but maybe we pay for his rent for a month or something.
Oh, buddy, got you covered. Got you covered. What kind of snacks you want?
Yeah.
What do you need? Got you. Need somebody to take care of that homework.
Yeah.
Bryce.
We don't want to get labeled as boosters, but Daddy did pick us some overtime. We can talk something. If you need some flaming hot Cheetos, come see us.
Give us a shout, man. We got you.
Yeah, anywhere but Ohio State, buddy. So that's some college football news. Tigers, man. Tigers are on fire this last week.
5 out of the last 6.
5 out of 6. They're currently, actually, they just finished up right now. Detroit Tigers just beat the Guardians 6-2. So that's what, 6 out of 7?
7, yeah.
6 out of 7. And honestly, they should have won the game yesterday against St. Louis, but Paul Goldschmidt just absolutely wrecked us. I'm not bad about that because he's on my fantasy baseball team, but 6 out of 7, looking good. I don't think the Tigers are going to be World Series contenders. They might be playoff contenders. I kind of have to struggle to say it because I was pretty hard on them before the season started, but the way this division looks, it's bad. And they got a very easy schedule the month of May. They can make some moves.
Yeah, I thought you may have mentioned to me earlier, when the season was starting, that we may not win 16 games. Thought you might have said something like that.
I said 60.
60 I know, I'm just playing.
60. No, so I'm actually really surprised at Eduardo Rodriguez. Yeah. He's pitched very well. He's a top 5 pitcher in the American League. He's been lights out his last 3-4 starts. But honestly, he's got an opt-out at the end of this year, and he's going to want to raise.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that the Tigers are in a position to pay a pitcher whatever money he's going to be asking. I think we're still very into a brand new rebuild, and I think he's going to get moved before the trade deadline.
How far do you think we are away? I know
it's hard to tell because Scott Harris really hasn't had a season to really do free agency. He hasn't done a draft yet. It's hard to tell, but the way they're playing right now, and honestly, what's bringing the team down is kind of Miguel Cabrera. I mean, you're batting 195, something like that. I get it. It's your farewell season, but I think that's going to be an anchor, and you're definitely not trading him. So I'm not even putting that into the world.
Yeah.
So I can see Rodriguez getting traded. Someone asked if I think Jonathan Scope would be traded. I wouldn't want a handful of gravel for Jonathan Scope. Like, I mean, dude, he is bad. No, I don't see him getting traded. I can see him getting sent to the Erie Seawolves to, maybe try to play baseball down there.
Can't even go to the Mud Hens? What are we talking about?
Buddy, Mud Hens is too high class for him. He's bad. Yeah, and then Matthew Boyd, teams like those left-handed pitchers for matchups late in the World Series where he doesn't have to go 5-6 innings. They can bring him in for 2 or 3. He could get traded. Teams are always looking for closers or late inning guys, so Alex Lane could be an option out there. There's some pieces to trade. But I just don't know. I don't have an opinion on when the rebuild will be over.
That's fair.
So we got some news coming up next week. Hopefully better than the Red Wings draft lottery, the Pistons draft lottery.
The odds are better, baby.
The odds are better, but they're still not great. Next Tuesday, so eight days away. What are you thinking?
So everybody who's been following us at all knows I've been on the fence between Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. I love Scoot Henderson, and I think in a lot of drafts he would be the number 1 overall pick. But the more and more I watch Victor Wembanyama, he's just a freak, man. He's a freak. Shout out to my boy Jason Palmer, Powder P. He sent me a link earlier, and it was they were talking about if LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama were in the same draft, who would go first?
LeBron James. Next question.
And it's been Victor Wembanyama.
No.
Yeah, man. He's 7'4". He can shoot. He can dribble. I mean,
would you stop?
I'm just telling you what the people are talking, man.
There's no way Victor Wembanyama would beat LeBron James at both of them 18 years old.
Buddy.
Not a chance. I'd be impressed if Victor touched the ball.
Buddy. How do you guard this guy?
With physicality, because he's don't get me started. All right, I'm not gonna bash the kid. That's not what the show's. We'll get into that later. But right now, both of them at 18 years old. Give me LeBron any day of the week, and I fucking hate LeBron.
Yeah, I'm a LeBron fan, but I just don't know how you pass on a guy who's 7'4" that can do everything you need him to do. My only concern with him is his health, man. What does his health look like? You know, I sent you the one clip where his leg bent all backwards, and you know, that he's a guard, man. He's dribbling in between his legs. He's got the razzle dazzle, and
I told you, for him being 7'4", he dribbles and controls the ball incredibly well. But people coming into the league his size have a lot of injury tendencies. Like, look at Chet Holmgren just last year. He didn't even play a game and broke his leg. Like,
sure.
I don't know the science. I don't know the reasoning or the medical stuff behind why that is for people who are over 7 feet tall. It just seems like they always get hurt. I mean, Shaq's like the exception. He was just, a genetic freak.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way, man. But then I started looking into a lot of the guys that have had great careers, 7 foot plus. And there's quite a few guys that are out there that have had, 8 to 12 seasons in the league, So but it's still a worry of mine. He's so slender, man. He's 215, 220 pounds at 7'4". It's
I will say this. So the couple of the stuff I watched on him, he's got a really silky smooth fadeaway jumper.
He does.
That really reminds me of like a Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk, or even Kevin Durant too.
Yeah, like the way he just fades back and just pop 2 points.
Right,
like it's a thing of beauty. Yeah. So yeah, we'll find out next Tuesday. We'll see if we have better luck than the Red Wings. Hopefully we get at least in the top 2. Hopefully we don't fall to 5. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a show on Thursday night. Maybe it's live. Maybe it's recorded. I don't know, but NFL schedule release is coming out, and that's going to be the sole purpose of the show. We're going to be talking Lions, going through games, game by game. Hopefully we get some primetime games. See who we're playing on Thanksgiving. It's going to be good. I can't wait. Thursday's a big day. We might do a live show for that one and get some fan interaction. We'll see.
For sure. I'm excited for it. People have been asking for the live too, so
yeah, we haven't done one we did our mock draft live, so it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, we'll see. We'll put something out, but we're definitely going to do a show Thursday, probably about 8, 9 o'clock, whenever they get done with the schedule, and we can sit down and talk about it for a minute before we go on air.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. Hey, you're on YouTube right now. Before you close this window, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
You'll be doing your country a great service if you do.
Facts.
That's it. Hit your face. Come on. People want to see that.